There is a new report from the Department of Homeland Security, and it's highlighting the Secret Service's numerous security failures during a fence-jumping incident in 2014. You'll recall back in September of that year, Omar Gonzalez scaled the north fence of the White House and managed to make it all the way into the East Room before being apprehended. The 70-page report points to communication challenges that ignored alarms and gross understaffing. Jeff Pegues is in Washington with the details. And Jeff, so what are some of the problems that the report highlights?
Well, where do you start? I mean, this is a pretty scathing report by the DHS Inspector General, and it talks about all of the failures that happened during that event on September 19th, 2014. It was about 7 p.m. at night when this all happened, and there were just a series of failures, according to this report, including technical failures with radios. The radios that the Secret Service Uniform Division and officers, they used to communicate with one another. The radios were not working properly. There was a lack of communication, this report points out. There was an alarm system around the White House. It is an audible alarm, but it was silenced in 2013, so that, of course, contributed. According to this report, that, of course, contributed to the delayed response by the Secret Service, and it goes on and on and on. It even lists White House infrastructure as part of the problem that caused the delayed response. The trees and the shrubbery contributed to problems seeing what was happening for the people responding there. So there's, as I said, this was a really scathing DHS Inspector General report.
Yeah, Jeff, as you point out, the report says that there was this lack of communication. For most average Americans, myself included, when you picture the Secret Service, what you picture are guys walking around with little, what we call IFBs, these little earbuds in our ears so that they can communicate with other Secret Service agents. What are they saying about why the most basic image that we have of the Secret Service wasn't working?
Well, listen, I mean, it's not just the Secret Service. We've seen anyone who really closely follows law enforcement. Problems with radios has been a persistent problem really since 9/11. You may remember that that was faulted as part of the problem communicating during the attacks on 9/11. So this issue with radios dating that far back, it's been an issue. And now to hear this as being part of the problem that contributed to this security breakdown at the White House, anyone who follows law enforcement or monitors law enforcement has to be concerned about that. The Secret Service is concerned about that. They're trying to upgrade the radio system that they have in place, and they're trying to make other changes that this report points out are false in terms of its response to that event in September of 2014.
Jeff, this man, Omar Gonzalez, got past 8 agents and was nearly 3 minutes before he was taken down. Does the report say anything about why the agents opted not to use deadly force?
Well, that was, I guess, if you're looking for a highlight for the Secret Service in this report, that is it. The Inspector General found that they responded by not using deadly force, that they did the right thing there. According to this report, there was no, he wasn't really a threat to them any longer, and there was no one at home in terms of the first family. The first family was not at the residence, in the residence at the time. So according to this report, in that way, by not using deadly force, the Secret Service responded appropriately.
Yeah, and we see that video that we were just showing there of Gonzalez running right through the front door as he gets close to the front door. It looks to my eyes as if there is somebody in uniform. There we see him on the right side of the screen there, and it looks like somebody's pointing a gun right at him. But as you say, it was the appropriate measure, not in this case, to use deadly force. Jeff Pegues in Washington for us. Jeff, thank you so much.
All right.